You don't begin as a billionaire. You don't begin as a political insider. You begin as a high school math teacher with no college degree. And within a few decades, you will host presidents, princes, Nobel laureates, and CEOs. You will own a private island. You will fly on private jets. You will move through elite circles as if you belong there. And behind that power, you will run a criminal operation that exploits minors. For years, the system around you will fail to stop you, until it finally does. Level 1. The Outsider. You're born in 1953 in Brooklyn, New York. Middle-class background, no inherited fortune. You attend college briefly, first at Cooper Union, then at NYU, but you never graduate. That doesn't stop you. In the 1970s, you secure a job teaching math and physics at the Dalton School in Manhattan, an elite private school. You don't have the required credentials, but you present yourself with confidence. You understand something early. Elite spaces often run on perception, not paperwork. You leave teaching after a few years, but you've learned how wealth moves, how powerful families operate, how influence looks from the inside. Level 2. Reinvention. You enter finance. Through connections, you land a job at Bear Stearns in the late 1970s. You work in options trading. You rise quickly. You build relationships with wealthy clients. But you leave the firm in the early 1980s under unclear circumstances. No dramatic collapse, no public scandal, just another reinvention. Now you call yourself a financial consultant for billionaires. You claim to manage money for ultra-wealthy individuals, but details about your strategy remain vague. Your mystique becomes part of your brand, and in elite circles, exclusivity creates credibility. You accumulate properties, a Manhattan mansion, a Palm Beach estate, a ranch in New Mexico, an island in the U.S. Virgin Islands. You host gatherings, politicians, business leaders, academics, royalty. Your social network grows. Your private jet flies frequently. Flight logs later show high-profile names among passengers. Association becomes protection. When powerful people appear around you, you appear legitimate, and legitimacy reduces scrutiny. Behind the wealth and connections, prosecutors later allege something else is happening. Beginning in the early 2000s, and possibly earlier, you are accused of recruiting underage girls for sexual abuse. The allegations describe a system: young victims brought to your homes, paid for massages, groomed, abused. Some are as young as 14. According to court records and victim testimony, associates helped recruit girls. The operation is not impulsive, it is organized, and for years it continues. Level 5. The 2005 investigation. In 2005, a parent reports allegations to police in Palm Beach, Florida. An investigation begins. Police recommend serious charges, but in 2008, you reach a controversial plea agreement with federal prosecutors. You plead guilty to state charges of soliciting prostitution from a minor and soliciting prostitution. You serve 13 months in a county jail. Work release allows you to leave jail during the day. The deal grants immunity to potential co-conspirators at the federal level. The agreement later faces heavy criticism. Many victims say they were not properly informed. For you, it is a limited consequence. For the public, it becomes a symbol of unequal justice. Level 6. Return to high society. After release, you register as a sex offender, but you return to your properties. You maintain some social ties. Some associates distance themselves, others do not. Investigative journalists continue reporting. Civil lawsuits move forward. More victims come forward publicly. Your name increasingly becomes associated not with finance, but with abuse. The protection you once enjoyed begins to erode. Level 7. Federal charges. In July 2019, federal prosecutors in New York charge you with sex trafficking of minors and conspiracy.
You are arrested at Teterboro Airport in New Jersey. Authorities search your Manhattan townhouse. They report finding large quantities of photographs of young girls. The case becomes international news. This time, there is no quiet plea deal, no local containment. The charges are federal, serious, public. The jail cell. You are held at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Manhattan. In August 2019, you are found unresponsive in your cell. The official ruling, suicide by hanging. The circumstances generate widespread public scrutiny and speculation. Investigations identify security failures in the facility. 2 correctional officers later admit to falsifying records. But regardless of the speculation, the criminal case against you ends. No trial, no full public accounting in court. For many victims, that means incomplete justice. The aftermath. After your death, investigations continue. Associates are scrutinized. In 2021, Ghislaine Maxwell, a longtime associate, is convicted of sex trafficking minors and conspiracy. Civil settlements follow. More documents are unsealed over time. But the larger question remains: how did someone with no degree, no transparent financial record, and a prior conviction maintain access to global elites for so long? The answer is uncomfortable. Wealth can obscure, power can intimidate, status can silence, and systems built on reputation often hesitate to confront those at the top. This is not a story about brilliance. It is a story about access and accountability, about how influence can delay consequences, about how victims can be ignored when the accused is wealthy and connected, and how eventually, even the most insulated network can fracture. Jeffrey Epstein built proximity to power, but proximity is not immunity, and the damage left behind is measured not in money, but in lives affected.